Let's be real for a moment. You've been there, right? You're stuck in traffic, the minutes feel like hours, and all you can think is, I'm gonna lose it. That rage bubbles up, and for a split second, you feel like you can't control it. But here's the thing, that's your ancient brain talking. That immediate rush of frustration, that need to react, it's all hardwired in you. Your brain is designed to protect you, but most of the time it's just reacting to everything. The trick is not letting that knee-jerk reaction control you. You don't owe anyone a reaction. Real self-control is about catching yourself in those moments, not letting the chaos of the outside world dictate how you feel on the inside. Your emotions don't have to be your boss. That's the first step to taking back control. Here's what you might not realize. When you react without thinking, you're giving away your power. Think about the last time someone cut you off in traffic or ignored your message. That gut reaction to get angry or frustrated. You're basically handing over your peace like a gift. You let that moment steal your calm. But what if you didn't? What if you just let it go? Imagine staying cool in the face of that same situation. This is where discipline comes in. Self-discipline isn't about forcing yourself to act a certain way, it's about choosing your response. It's the choice to hold your peace, even when the world is trying to take it. You have the power to decide whether that irritation or anger is worth your energy. Now let's talk about mental stillness. You've probably experienced this at least once. Someone's talking to you, but all you can think is, I'm so tired of hearing this. Your mind starts to race, thinking about everything except the conversation in front of you. Sound familiar? That's your brain trying to shut down on its own because it hasn't had the rest it needs. Here's the key. You need to intentionally rest your mind. No, I'm not talking about mindlessly scrolling through social media, pretending it's rest. I mean real rest. The kind where you stop thinking about everything for just a few minutes. Think of it like hitting the reset button for your brain. When you do this, you stop reacting to everything. Your thoughts stop bouncing around like a pinball, and instead, they slow down. It's like clearing the mental fog that blocks your clarity. And trust me, when you take that time to pause, you unlock a version of yourself that's sharper, more focused, and in control. So here's where we get to the real magic. The pause. You're in the middle of a heated conversation. Someone's pushing your buttons, and you can feel the tension rising. Your body's ready to react, but you know what? That split second of silence? That's where your power lives. That pause is everything. You get to decide how you respond, and most of the time, the best response is no response at all. It's hard. I get it. It's natural to want to defend yourself, to prove that you're right. But when you don't react immediately, you stop feeding into the drama. Imagine this. Someone says something hurtful, and instead of firing back, you just take a deep breath and let it go. In that moment, you're not just staying calm, you're taking control of the situation. And that's something most people can't do. Now, let's get into something crucial. Emotional detachment. I'm not talking about shutting people out or pretending you don't care. I'm talking about not letting the emotions of others control your mood. You've probably had that moment where someone's energy is so negative, it starts to pull you down. Maybe they're upset, maybe they're just in a bad mood, and you can feel yourself getting caught up in it. Here's the truth. Their mood is not your responsibility. You don't need to absorb every emotion around you. You don't need to fix them or carry their weight. You don't owe anyone a reaction to their negativity. Your peace is yours to protect. The minute you let someone else's emotions dictate how you feel, you've given away your power. It's about knowing where to draw the line between empathy and emotional ownership. You can be there for people without letting them drag you down. Think about the last time you tried to fix a problem that wasn't yours. You probably spent hours overthinking, trying to come up with solutions for things you can't control. It's exhausting, isn't it? But here's the thing. Not every problem is yours to solve. A lot of the time, we get caught up in trying to solve other people's issues, or we feel obligated to respond to every little problem. But real self-discipline is about knowing when to step back. You can't fix everything, and that's okay. You're allowed to let things go, to focus only on what you can control. The real strength is knowing when to say, I can't help with that, and move on. It's not about being cold or detached. It's about preserving your energy for what truly matters. Let's talk about mental boundaries. You know those moments when someone asks you for help, and even though you're overwhelmed, you say yes because you don't want to disappoint them? Yeah, we've all been there. But here's the hard truth. Saying yes when you really mean no is a form of self-sabotage. You can't pour from an empty cup. When you don't have the mental bandwidth to help others, it's okay to say no. Setting boundaries is not selfish. It's necessary. If you're constantly stretching yourself thin to meet everyone else's needs, you'll end up losing sight of your own goals and energy. Remember, it's not about being rude or neglectful. It's about being honest with yourself about what you can handle. Protecting your mental space is the first step in creating space for growth. Saying no allows you to say yes to the things that truly matter. Here's the thing, you're not a robot. And no, you don't have to be on all the time. We've been conditioned to think that success comes from constant hustle, grinding 24/7s, never taking a break. But let me ask you something. If you're constantly pushing yourself, when do you actually get the time to grow? Rest isn't the enemy of success. Rest is fuel for your success. If you don't recharge, you're just running on fumes. Imagine trying to drive a car without refueling. You wouldn't get very far. Rest gives you the energy to level up. The secret to getting ahead isn't about working harder. It's about working smarter. And part of that is knowing when to step back, reset, and refuel. Your mind, body, and emotions need time to recover to keep pushing forward at your highest potential. Here's a powerful shift for you. Stop chasing success. Let me explain. We've all been conditioned to think that success is something you have to constantly chase, to always be in pursuit of the next big thing. But here's the catch. When you're chasing success, you're always running, and you can't enjoy something you're always chasing. Instead, become success. Shift your mindset from constantly trying to get success to simply being the kind of person who embodies that you don't need to prove anything to anyone. Success isn't a destination, it's a mindset. And when you start thinking and acting like success, it starts following you. Instead of running after what you think you need to succeed, focus on who you need to be. Your actions, your discipline, your mindset, that's the real key to success. Let's talk about your internal narrative for a second. You know, that voice inside your head that tells you you're not good enough, you're not ready yet, or you'll never make it. That voice is a liar. Most of what's holding you back isn't the world, it's your own thoughts. We get so wrapped up in believing these limiting beliefs, and they create a narrative that holds us in place. But here's the truth. Your story is still being written. You have the power to change your internal narrative. The moment you stop believing those negative thoughts is the moment you start rewriting your life. Challenge the narrative. Replace the I can't with I will. The I'm not good enough with I'm always growing. The only limits that exist are the ones you put on yourself. Now let's get to something vital. You are your habits. Look at your daily routine. What you do today is what shapes you tomorrow. If you're constantly indulging in distractions, procrastination, and negative thinking, that's who you're becoming. But here's the kicker. You have the power to change those habits. Success doesn't come from one big action. It comes from small, consistent actions that compound over time. If you want to level up, look at what you do every day. If it's not aligned with your goals, change it. Don't wait for some magical moment to turn your life around. Start now in the smallest moments. The transformation you're looking for isn't far away. It's hiding in your habits. Change your habits, change your life. You know what's dangerous? Chasing motivation. It feels great when you're motivated, but here's the problem. Motivation doesn't last. It's unreliable. You can't always wait for the spark of motivation to get you going. So, what do you do instead? You rely on discipline. Discipline is the thing that keeps you going when motivation is nowhere to be found. It's what allows you to show up every day, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is your commitment to yourself, to your growth, and to your success, even when the mood doesn't match. Motivation is great, but it's discipline that actually drives progress. Consistency wins, not bursts of energy. Here's a powerful reminder. Don't seek validation from others. We've all done it. Posted something on social media, waiting for likes, comments, or someone to notice and approve. But here's the reality. Waiting for validation from outside sources is a surefire way to lose your power. Your worth doesn't come from what others think of you. It comes from what you think of yourself. When you stop seeking approval, you unlock a new level of freedom. You no longer live for the applause or the attention. You live for your own growth, for your own success. Your self-worth isn't up for debate. It's solid, unwavering, and it doesn't need anyone's approval to exist. Let's talk about embracing discomfort. The truth is, growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It happens when you push yourself past what's familiar and safe. You know that feeling when you're about to do something difficult and your body tenses up because you're afraid of failing? That's the exact moment you need to lean in. Discomfort is a signal that you're on the verge of growth. Instead of running away from it, embrace it. The more you embrace discomfort, the more you expand your potential. Every time you push through that resistance, you level up. And the more you level up, the more you're prepared for the next challenge. Growth isn't about avoiding discomfort. It's about using it as a stepping stone to become the person you're meant to be. Now let's talk about quiet confidence. The most powerful people you'll meet are not the ones shouting the loudest. They're the ones who move through life with a quiet, unshakable confidence. And here's the thing. Confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about being sure of who you are. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. Your actions will speak louder than words. When you trust yourself, when you know your worth, you don't need validation. People will sense that energy. They'll know you're different. Your power lies in your ability to remain calm, focused, and unbothered by the noise around you. Confidence is built in silence. You don't have to announce your greatness. Just live it. And finally, here's the key to it all. Own your story. Every challenge you faced, every setback, every mistake, they all shape who you are, but they don't define you unless you let them. You get to decide how your story ends. The world will try to tell you who you should be, but only you can write your own narrative. You don't need permission to be great, and you don't need anyone's approval to level up. This is your life, and it's time to take control of it. When you take ownership of your story, you stop living for others and start living for yourself. And that's when you become unstoppable.